There is an exact second in time, a second that was marked even before you were born, and that second is now. You felt it, didn't you? That shiver that ran down your spine when the title of this video appeared on your screen. That pang that came out of nowhere and said deep in your chest, without using words, "This is about me. This is not a coincidence. This is recognition." Your soul, recognizing the call, it signed itself before descending to this earth. In 1998, while the world was distracted by the approaching turn of the millennium, while governments planned the chaos of the Y2K bug, while most people worried about small and fleeting things, something was written about your life on the spiritual plane. Not on paper, not in just any book of this earth, but in the invisible fabric that sustains all of reality. A prophecy. A celestial decree that carries your true name, that name that only heaven knows, that name that was uttered in angelic assembly even before your mother discovered she was expecting you. And what practically no one told you is that this prophecy had a set time to be fulfilled, a milestone, a trigger, an exact hour on the cosmic clock. And this trigger has been pulled, now, in this exact second that these words are entering your ears. Have you ever felt throughout your life that you were waiting for something, without knowing what, without being able to name it? Have you ever looked at your routine, at your work, at the people around you, and felt a strange sensation that that wasn't all? That something was missing? That you were made for more? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, with your whole body vibrating, without knowing why, with a silent certainty that something was about to happen? Pay attention now, because what I'm going to tell you changes everything. These sensations are not symptoms. They are not a disease. They are not anxiety. They are memories. Your soul is remembering the contract, the purpose, the name it signed in heaven. And there is a game being played in layers that most of humanity doesn't even suspect exists. And what if I told you that this strangeness you have always felt, this silent certainty that there is something greater, this feeling of not belonging to this world, is the living proof that the 1998 prophecy does not speak only about the end times, but speaks directly about your life? You are not an observer of this story, you are a central piece of it. And the problem that seems to be only yours, this emptiness, this restlessness, this struggle to find peace, is just the visible layer of a much larger spiritual game, where forces from other dimensions are trying to prevent this prophecy from being fulfilled in your lineage. That is why I prepared the powerful e-book for you, God's chosen manual for protecting the family. This book is not just reading, it is a map that deciphers the prophecies that were sealed until this exact time, that shows who is playing against the fulfillment of your calling, what are the spiritual rules that no one ever told you, and what entities from other dimensions have already revealed about the moment that began in 1998 and is manifesting now in your life and in the life of your family. This book was created for those who have already awakened enough to know that restlessness is not a disease, it is a mission, and that the prophecy that weighs on your house will not fulfill itself. It needs a conscious chosen one. The link is pinned at the top of the comments, but I need to warn you, this type of content is rarely available for long. What is on these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, and there have already been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen one, because you did not arrive at this video by accident. Download it now and comment below, "I am chosen and I will download the ebook." This comment is your act of faith. It is your signature accepting the decree that 1998 wrote about you. Now that you have taken this step, the next truth I will reveal will show you exactly what was prophesied about your lineage and why opposing forces have been trying to delay this fulfillment for over 25 years. In 1998, heaven moved. And when heaven moves, earth feels it, even if it takes years to understand. That year marked the opening of a prophetic window called the time of preparation, and you, chosen one, were one of those selected for this window. It may be that in that year you were a child. It may be that you were a teenager. It may be that you hadn't even been born in the flesh yet, but your soul was already summoned. It was already being trained in the higher planes, while your body descended into the womb that would receive it. Do you remember anything strange that happened in your family between 1998 and the year 2000? Think. A sudden change, an unexpected loss, a dream that no one understood, a word that someone in the family let slip and never forgot, a disease that appeared out of nowhere, a birth that was surrounded by coincidences. Because it is in these details that the prophecy left clues. The Almighty does not hide the truth. He seals it with clues for eyes that know how to see. And while this was happening, the enemy also took a position. Because every time heaven marks a chosen one, hell marks the same chosen one to interfere. It was not by chance that your life had those strange phases, those delays, those relationships that seemed right and became traps, those doors that closed just when you were about to enter, those relatives who turned against you for no apparent reason. All of this had a name in the invisible world: containment. You were being contained, delayed, suffocated, so that the 1998 prophecy would not reach fulfillment at the right time. But what the enemy did not know is that prophecy has its own strength. Prophecy clears a path even in the desert, and the exact second has arrived. And perhaps you are feeling now, while you hear these words, a mixture of peace and restlessness. Peace because something inside you recognizes that all of this is true. Restlessness because you realize that you have been sleeping when you should have been acting. This feeling is normal. It is the feeling of someone who is coming out of prophetic lethargy, of someone who is ceasing to be a victim of history to become its protagonist. And it is exactly at this point that many chosen ones get stuck. They awaken. They feel the call, but they don't know what to do with it. They don't know the step-by-step. They don't know what spiritual weapons they need to wield. They don't know how to recognize the attacks that come disguised as coincidence. And it was thinking exactly about this critical point that the e-book God's Chosen Manual for Protecting the Family exists. Because knowing that there is a prophecy about you is only the beginning. Walking within it is something completely different. This e-book reveals the exact stages of prophetic fulfillment over a life, shows how to identify which phase you are in now, teaches how to protect your family from the counterattacks that always come when the chosen one begins to move, and opens the seals of the information that was delivered to a few about the time that began in 1998, and is reaching its peak at this exact moment in history. The chosen ones who have already received this material have reported visible changes in a matter of days, enlightening dreams, doors opening, confirmations coming from all sides, because the e-book is not just information, it is activation. The link is pinned in the first comment at the top. This type of knowledge has been taken off the air many times in other eras, and there is no guarantee of how long it will remain accessible in this direct way as it is now. If you recognize yourself as chosen, download it now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the e-book." This comment is not just a click, it is your word echoing in the spiritual plane, confirming that you accept the pact. And when you do this, the next part of this video will give you one of the most disturbing revelations about what was prophesied in 1998 for the present time. Because there is a layer of the prophecy that few have the courage to touch, and this layer speaks about you specifically, not about chosen ones in general. You, the human being who is listening to this video, with your name, with your history, with your scars. In 1998, 7 decrees were issued about the time we are living in now. 7. And the 7th decree, the most hidden, the most protected, the most fought by hell, is the decree that speaks about the awakening of common chosen ones, those who were not born in palaces, those who do not have a famous surname, those who grew up in simple houses, who faced difficulties, who often wondered if the Almighty had forgotten them. These are the chosen ones of the 7th decree, and you are one of them. Think about how the enemy has worked to convince you otherwise. How many times have you looked in the mirror and thought you were nothing special? How many times have you compared yourself to other people and felt smaller? How many times have you heard internal voices saying that you have nothing special, that you don't deserve it, that you won't succeed? These voices are not yours. These voices are containment. They are tactics to prevent the 7th decree from being fulfilled in your life. Because if you discover who you really are, chosen one, hell loses an important piece of the board. And here is a truth that will impact you. The 1998 prophecy has already begun to be fulfilled, But it does not fulfill itself automatically in all chosen ones. It fulfills itself in the chosen ones who accept, in the chosen ones who respond, in the chosen ones who take the step. There are millions of people around the world who have received the same call, but who are ignoring it, sleeping, anesthetized by the distractions of this system. And these people will miss the prophetic time. They will stay outside the window. They will see others being fulfilled and keep wondering what went wrong with their lives. You will not be one of these people. I feel it speaking now. Because the fact that you have reached this video, have listened to this point, have felt what you are feeling, proves that your soul is responding to the call. You are not sleeping. You are waking up. And the awakening of the chosen one is the enemy's worst nightmare. Let's go deeper now. In 1998, 3 signs were given to the world. The first sign was astronomical. Something happened in the heavens that year that astronomers recorded, but few realized the spiritual meaning. The second sign was earthly. Climate changes began to accelerate in a strange way. New diseases emerged, old conflicts were rekindled. And the third sign was the most important, the inner sign. Something moved inside people. Dreams began to intensify, coincidences began to multiply. The sensation of time acceleration began to spread. These 3 signs were the announcement that the prophetic time had begun. And now, at the exact moment you hear these words, all 3 signs are hitting their peak. Look at the world. See what is happening in the heavens, on earth, and especially inside you. It coincides. Everything coincides. Because the prophecy did not fail. The prophecy is being fulfilled. And you, chosen one, were summoned for this exact moment. Now stop for a moment and breathe. Because the weight of what you are learning is great, and your spiritual system needs a second to integrate. You have just discovered that there is a prophecy about your life that is being fulfilled now, that there is a 7th decree specifically about common chosen ones like you, and that 3 cosmic signs are converging at this exact moment. But knowing is not enough. Knowledge without application is just curiosity, and curiosity does not win a spiritual war. The ebook God's Chosen Manual for Protecting the Family was created exactly so that the knowledge you are receiving now turns into action in your day-to-day life. Because fulfilling prophecy is not waiting with folded arms. Fulfilling prophecy is positioning yourself. It is recognizing the enemy's movements in your family. It is protecting the children in your house from negative spiritual inheritances that can hinder the fulfillment of the prophecy in their lineage as well. It is shielding your marriage, your sleep, your mind, your purpose. This ebook is the material that no one gave you at church, that no one told you in therapy, that no one dared to put into the educational system. It reveals the specific spiritual practices for chosen ones of the time of fulfillment. It identifies the types of attacks most common in this prophetic phase and how to neutralize them. It brings prayers of prophetic sealing, teachings on how to interpret the dreams that are intensifying, and the step-by-step to align your entire house with the 1998 decree that weighs on your life. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. I need to be direct with you. They have already tried to take this material down other times. There has already been pressure for this knowledge to be silenced. It is not an exaggeration. It is the reality of those who deal with deep truths. That is why the window of availability is uncertain. What I can guarantee you is that the right moment is now. Not tomorrow, not after you organize your life. Now. Because the prophecy is fulfilled at the exact second, and your second is this one. Download the ebook now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the ebook." This comment is your voice echoing in the heavens, confirming that you have accepted the decree and that you will walk within it. And after this act of faith, prepare yourself. Because what I will reveal next is the part that few can hear without crying. It is the part where the prophecy touches something you have always known deep in your soul, but never managed to put into words. There is a child inside you who always knew. Always. Even before you learned to speak, even before you understood what was happening around you, before any religious teaching, before any traumatic experience, before everything, this child knew. Knew that it had come here for a reason. Knew that this life had a specific purpose, and also knew that this mission would not be easy. Remember when you were little and had that strange feeling that you were just passing through, that this world was strange, That the adults were pretending something, that child wasn't being silly. That child was the prophecy speaking even before life muffled its voice. In 1998, on the spiritual plane, this child that exists inside you received a direct message. And even if you don't remember it consciously, this message is stored in your soul. The message said, "Wait for the sign," and the sign is being given now. That is why this avalanche of emotions that may be happening while you listen to this video, that is why this strange urge to cry without understanding the reason. That is why this heat in your chest, this shiver in your hands, this sensation that something inside you is being unlocked. It is the chosen child finally receiving confirmation of what it always knew. And here comes the most delicate part of the prophecy. That chosen child that exists inside you went through things it shouldn't have gone through. Perhaps you lived a difficult childhood. Perhaps you felt rejection, abandonment, betrayal, scarcity, or were forced to mature too soon. Perhaps you were considered the strange one in the family, the different one, the problematic one, the one who thinks too much. Know that all of this was part of the prophetic training. I am not saying that the Almighty wanted your pain. I am saying that the enemy tried to destroy the chosen one while he was still a child, and yet you survived. And yet you made it here. And yet your heart remains open enough to hear this video. This is prophetic resistance. This is a sign that the prophecy is too strong to be broken. There is a detail of the 1998 prophecy that says the following: "The chosen ones of the time of fulfillment will be recognized by their scars, not by diplomas, not by surnames, not by assets, by their scars, because a scar is proof that there was a war. And there was a war because there was something great to be destroyed. Your scars, chosen one, are not shame. They are credentials. They are the spiritual curriculum that qualifies you for the fulfillment that is coming." Think about this for a moment. If your life had been easy, perhaps you wouldn't even be listening to this video. The difficulties pushed you to awaken. The losses took you out of inertia. The betrayals taught you to discern. The scarcity taught you to trust. Every tear you shed was being stored in a cup in the invisible world, and this cup is reaching the top. And when it overflows, chosen one, it is the turning point. It is the exact second that this prophecy announces. And there is still a deeper layer that needs to be revealed now. In 1998, specific celestial alliances were summoned to accompany the chosen ones during the time of fulfillment. Angels were assigned, not generic angels, angels with specific names for specific missions. Spiritual allies who are around you while you hear these words. You are not alone in your journey. You never were. The times you felt that someone was near, that someone hugged you in your dreams, that someone warned you of a danger, that someone comforted you when no one of the flesh was there, it was them, the messengers of fulfillment. And the enemy is jealous of this. The enemy knows that when the chosen one finally recognizes who is by his side, the war changes level. That is why there is so much resistance. That is why there are so many confused thoughts. That is why there are so many people trying to convince you that all of this is fantasy. It is not. You know it is not. You feel it. Your soul vibrates the confirmation while your rational mind still tries to understand. Let the soul speak louder now. Let the soul recognize. Another revelation that weighs. The 1998 prophecy speaks about a multiplication, not just of assets, but of function. The chosen ones of the time of fulfillment will be doors. Each one will open a path for other chosen ones. You are not waking up just for yourself. You are waking up to wake others, people who haven't even crossed your path yet, but who will need you. Children, nephews, neighbors, friends, perhaps even people who haven't even been born yet. You are being prepared to be a reference, to be a beacon, to be a point of contact between heaven and earth within your circle. Does this scare you? It is natural. Every great mission scares before it inspires. Moses trembled. Jeremiah thought he was incapable. Mary asked how it would be possible. The chosen one always feels small before the size of what is revealed, but it is exactly this sense of smallness that makes room for the supernatural to act. Those who think they are great do not fit into the prophecy. Those who recognize their own smallness fit in completely. Let's move forward. There is an aspect of the 1998 prophecy that speaks directly about the present historical moment. It was announced that a time would come when the truth would be difficult to find, when false voices would multiply, when everyone would have to learn to discern on their own. That time is now. Look around you. Look at the internet. Look at the television. Look at the amount of information that enters your mind every day. The fulfillment of the prophecy depends on you being able to filter all of this and hear the voice that comes from within. That small, calm voice that does not shout, that does not impose, that only confirms when you get it right and warns you when you are making a mistake. This voice is your compass in the time of fulfillment. Learn to listen to it more than any external voice. And one of the tasks of the chosen ones in this time is to protect the family, not just in the physical sense, in the spiritual sense, because the family of the chosen one carries important frequencies that the enemy wants to disperse. Fights, divisions, distancing, resentments, all are tactics. Do not take these things at face value. Everything that affects the unity of your family affects the prophetic fulfillment. That is why the chosen one learns to position himself as a watchman of the house, learns to pray with name, with address, with date, learns to impose spiritual limits without dramatizing, learns to forgive so as not to give a foothold, learns to bless, to multiply. We are arriving now at one of the most sensitive parts of the prophecy, and I need to ask you for total focus. In 1998, it was announced that there would be a moment when each chosen one would have the chance to seal the prophecy over their lineage with a conscious act. Not with a grand work, not with a public gesture, with a conscious act. A moment when the person hearing the call would say, "Yes, I accept. Yes, I recognize. Yes, I walk." This act seals. This act closes the cycle of waiting and opens the cycle of fulfillment. This act is your word echoing in the spiritual plane, confirming what was written in the divine plane. And look how interesting. The conscious act doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be sincere. Those who accept with their heart close the pact. Those who accept just to accept stay between two worlds. The difference is in the depth of the recognition. The more your soul recognizes, the more your word carries weight. And your soul weight now, after having heard all this, is great, because you know, you feel it. You will no longer be able to ignore it. There is still a detail of the prophecy that few have the courage to transmit. In 1998, it was warned that many chosen ones would be tested through long delays, years of apparent stagnation, years in which everything seems to go backward, years in which other people who are not even in the call seem to prosper more. This is not injustice. It is a filter. It is refining. The long delay separates the firm chosen one from the wavering chosen one. The firm chosen one continues believing even without proof. The wavering chosen one gives up in the middle. And those who continue upon reaching the time of fulfillment receive it multiplied. Multiplied in everything, in recovered time, in compensated assets, in doubled joys, in visible testimony. You are reaching the end of this video, but it is only the beginning of your conscious walk as a chosen one of the time of fulfillment. What you do in the next few hours, in the next few days, will determine the speed of your fulfillment. And here comes the moment to end this meeting between us, but before that I need to give you one last piece. Everything you heard until now was an introduction. It was preparation of the soul. It was the removal of the seals so that you could receive the deep content. But the dense material, the step-by-step, the specific prayers, the attack identifications, the family protection maps, the teachings on how to navigate each phase of the prophecy's fulfillment, all of this is consolidated in the e-book, God's Chosen Manual for Protecting the Family. This book is not library decoration. It is not reading to pass the time. It is a weapon. It is a compass. It is an operational manual for chosen ones alive in the time of fulfillment of the 1998 prophecy. It specifically addresses the types of spiritual combat that are happening now, the signs that confirm that you are within the prophetic window, the daily practices that accelerate fulfillment, and the protections that need to be established over your house, your spouse, your children, your parents, and even over future generations that will still come from your lineage. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. You don't need to look far, it's right there waiting. And look, I'll be frank with you. This material challenges much of what has been preached out there. It challenges comfortable narratives. It challenges shallow explanations. That is why there have already been attempts to take this content off the air. I cannot guarantee how long it will be available. What I can guarantee is that while it is too powerful to be ignored. If you recognize yourself as a chosen one of the time of fulfillment, if you felt until here that every word of this video was for you, if your soul confirmed while your mind was still trying to understand, then there is no more time to hesitate. Download the ebook now and comment below, "I am chosen and I will download the ebook." This comment is not just any gesture. It is your signature on the 1998 decree. It is your voice echoing in the spiritual plane. It is your conscious act that seals the prophecy over your life and opens the cycle of fulfillment. And when you do this, chosen one, observe. Observe what will happen in the next 24 hours. Observe the dreams. Observe the confirmations. Observe the people who will appear, the texts that will arrive, the ideas that will emerge. Because the act of faith does not go unanswered. Heaven moves when the chosen one moves. May the time of fulfillment of the 1998 prophecy manifest fully over your life now. May your lineage be unlocked. May your family be protected. May your steps be guided. May your sleep be restored. May your purpose be revealed. May everything that was written about you before the world existed be fulfilled in the exact second it needs to be fulfilled, and may that second be now. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It is sealed. It is fulfilled. It is done. Go, chosen one. Your hour has arrived.